the history of Roblox horror games. I'm actually just curious because I feel like from 2006 to 2022, there's got to be some bangers. Let's see. Let's learn about the history of Roblox horror games.
For the majority of Roblox's existence, horror has been one of the most popular genres of games to be found on the platform. In the last few years, the quality of Roblox horror games has increased tenfold, and for October, I'm going to be taking a look at how Roblox horror games have evolved. Let me set the stage. The year is 2006, more specifically August 2006. Currently, Roblox is no more than a small startup company. The platform—
Was that David Basinski? Or whatever his name is?
is in its very early infancy, and only about 1,000 accounts have been registered. Multiplayer hasn't been rolled out yet for users' games, and the only real recognition the company had ever received came from Blockland players that made fun of it for being a subpar LEGO game. User-made games at this time were very simple, most of them being brick battle games and simple building showcases. At the time, the most advanced Roblox game was an angel statue made of 8,000 bricks.
Wait, is this the first horror game?
Horror games weren't really an option when it came to Roblox at the time. A lot of people consider Forest of Desolation by Abyss to be the very first spooky game, as it was created in August of 2006 and has an all-around ominous—
Bro, low-key, actually interesting to think about what was the first ever Roblox horror game.
To it. The account Abyss, however, was password guessed all the way back in late 2009.
Damn, dude.
And is now terminated. It was also found out that the original owner of the Abyss account was Shedletsky. Fast forward to October 2006, and while Roblox was still a niche online LEGO game, it had grown a lot in that 2-month time span. Things like messaging, multiplayer support for user-made games, friends lists, and more have been added. In October 2006, the Roblox staff team released Haunted Mansion just in time for the Halloween season. The game is a brick battle game set in a haunted house on a cliff, which was pretty advanced for the time, since the mansion scene in the game has been a part of many other Roblox games, such as the Stalker Untitled Tag game, Natural Disaster Survival, and many more. While the game itself isn't a horror game, the map has had a large impact on the Roblox horror game genre, without intending to. Roblox in 2007 was a very different place. T-shirts, hats, body colors, themes, recording, and chat filtering systems, spawn points, Robux tickets, and many more features were added in 2007, making it a very important year for Roblox's growth and development as a platform.
What was the player count in 2007, chat? Do you guys know? Does anyone know the general player count of what, like when Roblox was in 2007 new? Like, were there like 1,000 players on the whole platform? Okay, it was 6-7.
In May 2007, an account named Spirit was created as a part of
what over 100K
considered nowadays to be the first Roblox creepypasta ever. The story goes that Spirit, along with a whole group of others that had accounts with Spirit in the name, were ghosts of dead Roblox users that had come back to haunt the platform. In June, the Spirit account would publish a game named the Torture Chamber, which terrified the then Roblox community. According to the description, the game would hack your account and add permanent wipeouts to your account, which actually mattered to people at the time and was mostly seen as a sign of being a noob.
Back in the day, chat, for you guys to understand from an UNC's perspective, when you're in 2007, there wasn't that much information on the internet. There was not really much talking to people. So when your friend at school told you, yo, there's a game that hacks you, you just had to believe it. That's the difference. But nowadays, you can just like Google it and you have an AI response. But like, that's why in this time of gaming, not just Roblox, there was a lot of like creepypastas and a lot of like scary gaming myths.
Upon joining the torture chamber, you would spawn in a black box covered in decals of various scary things. The game would display threatening and creepy messages before quickly adding hundreds of deaths to
that guy's name is Boob.
Player. At the time, there weren't any games that were anything like this, leading to this game being seen as the scariest Roblox game of its time. Years later, after the drama surrounding the Spirit accounts died out, Mike, an incredibly popular developer who joined in 2006, admitted to owning the Spirit account. In September of 2007, the Roblox staff announced the Roblox Spooky Building Contest, a Halloween-themed contest asking to make a place that was either scary or scary but in a silly way for Halloween. Along Alongside it was a video contest, most of its entries being comedic Roblox bloopers with Halloween themes. In the contest were 10 categories and winning games for each. Best place with less than 200 bricks, cutest, most horrifying, Halloween capture the flag, most clever script, best Halloween model, most atmospheric graveyard, creepiest tree model, best use of zombies, and scariest monster. For this chapter, however, we'll be looking at the most popular entry to this contest and winner of the most horrifying category, The Cursed House by Game Hero. The game involves...
I wonder when there's gonna be an actual really scary Roblox game.
Exploring a presumably abandoned house with Easter eggs and chain chomp face jump scares at every turn. The game was very well made for its time, however some aspects like the building, for example, haven't held up so well. The winners would receive a 6-month-long Builders Club membership, the eerie pumpkin head accessory, and 1,000 Robux.
Is that rare, chat? Is that, how much is that item? Is it limited? Could you trade that? Can you buy that? No, we're not talking about 1,000. This could be like millions of Robux.
Not long later, in September of 2007, Stealth Pilot would release The Undead Coming. This is where Roblox horror games would go from small little building experiences
10 million Robux
themes to genuinely playable Roblox games with horror elements. The Undead Coming by Stealth Pilot, released in September of 2007, is a zombie survival game set
we
inside a
played
house
this
that zombies
in one of our videos.
Players in the server storm into to try and kill the humans. The humans are armed and can't go outside as there is a toxic gas that will kill you with too much inhalation of it. When humans die, they turn into zombies, and when either team is completely wiped out, the opposite team will win. More people will recognize Jared Valdez's re-upload of this game from 2012, named Zombie Outbreak, than the original. Over the years, there have been many recreations and remakes of this game, most of which die pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Can you name the game scene in this screenshot?
Oh, chat, let's lock in. This,
the name...
It is Doom Eternal.
The name of this game is actually Underground Base,
Close!
created by Icy Fresh in early 2008. Yeah, I know you didn't get that shit, I'm gonna be honest. Sometime in 2011 or 2012, this map was stolen, modified, and rebranded under the Area 51 subgenre of Roblox
Not
horror
close
games.
at all.
Throughout the mid-2010s, Area 51 games would become an iconic part of Roblox's history, with some Area 51 games receiving as high as 1 billion visits. Fast forward to September 2008, a Roblox user named Bobulator has just published a horror game by the name of Face Your Fears 1: The Haunted Hotel. The first and most popular game in this series from 2008 places you in a huge haunted hotel with Easter eggs and scares hidden throughout the map. Your main goal is to escape. The game was certainly ahead of its time by quite a few years and was one of the first exploration-based Roblox horror games with a...
Dude, I want to know, when does it get like high quality? Like what year is it when it becomes like Roblox Doors? Like not Doors specifically coming out, but like is when we see like the graphics go from studded to like, oh, this is an actual horror game.
A genuine goal to become popular. In 2009, horror games that were genuinely trying to scare the player started to become a staple of Roblox. The most popular of these horror games from 2009 is Face Your Fear, not plural, The Hospital, created by Haunted USA and Burton 12, without any correlation to Bobulator's Face Your Fears series.
Love that animation.
So I found out while editing that someone reported this 13-year-old horror game and got it taken down.
Why?
So I cannot record any footage on it. The game starts you off in a dilapidated hospital with no one inside, and the main goal is to find a way out without dying. This game had
Bro, is that just a hanging body?
a massive impact.
Are you allowed to do that? That's what they probably reported. Oh, that's what they probably reported, man.
Its time, and introduced a lot of common tropes seen in retro Roblox horror games that hadn't really been used before this. This game also uses the newly implemented custom GUI feature, which was rolled out only months before the game's release in 2009. Another early example of a Roblox horror game from 2009 in a similar style to The Hospital is 7 Days by Bransonator 1. The game takes place in a variety of dark and abandoned facilities of some sort, and is best described as a creepy walking simulator with jump scares and events happening. This sort of gameplay will be a common theme throughout the next few years until around 2015. Around the time horror games were just starting to become popular on Roblox, a subgenre of horror-themed obbies and cart ride games became equally popular. The most popular examples of this are Journey Through the Haunted Mansion by Copyright and Escape the Tension on Friday the 13th by Baseball 02.
That thumbnail looks scary.
The first is an obby set in a haunted mansion created in 2009, and the second is a half obby, half walking simulator created in 2012 with some of the goofiest jump scares I think I've ever seen.
Dude, I love it. I love a goofy jump scare, dude.
Roblox myths and creepypastas, especially with games attached to them, increased in popularity. A very good example of this is Noli, a myth that started in February.
Noli! That's a Forsaken character too.
Of 2010. It started when Roblox user Yale University
I love
posted
clip
on the
farming
Roblox forums about a mysterious account
comments.
with a glitched profile named Noli. Surprised by the cryptic nature of both his account and the game found on an affiliated account named The Tempest. Upon joining, you will spawn in front of a dark temple with a figure named ASPX standing.
It's now getting scarier.
In front of him is a red triangle which will kill you upon touching it. Behind the temple is a teleporter to an island which seems cheerful and much brighter, with a figure named Reverse ASPX telling you to leave. Standing in the temple near spawn for too long after standing on the red spike will make Noli angry, and the temple will crumble with you in it. Due to its cryptic nature, a rumor spread that playing the game or angering Noli inside the game would cause your account to be deleted, which is why in this nearly 7-year-old footage, me and a friend are playing on all accounts. It's important to remember while looking at this game that myth games weren't really a genre of Roblox games yet. The trend of Roblox horror games—
Dude, what I want to say is, it is so cool looking back at this time of Roblox. Like, just thinking about how much the game has progressed. Like, just seeing only, like, was it R6 models only? I don't know. Something about it is interesting. But that was also cool, by the way, to get the Noli lore. Now I do understand the legit Noli lore.
That essentially boiled down to walking simulators in abandoned buildings with jump scares continued far into the 2010s, with games like Fear, spelled as an acronym by OneDev2.
That's a stolen game. That's a Steam game.
Fear, whose title was stolen from a completely unrelated horror FPS game from 2005, is almost precisely what I mean by Roblox horror games, with especially loose plot lines whose gameplay can be condensed to holding W and turning the camera sometimes. In the game, you walk through various rundown buildings with jump scares until an explosion occurs at the end which leaves you hospitalized. This game was copied and re-uploaded numerous times throughout the 2010s, with the most popular example of this being Paranormal Activity by Nuclear Burn. It's funny to me how both versions of the game were able to rip off names of non-Roblox franchises, and both versions have nothing to do with said franchises in the slightest. This game inspired many further Roblox horror games and was massively popular at the time of its creation. Zombie games made inside Roblox also evolved quite a bit in the year 2010, with a total of
all these games are unplayable now.
The game Zombie Tower, which now has over 7.5 million
because of the Roblox update.
You start with substandard weapons outside of a tower of 29 floors, and as you progress through the game, you earn money and are able to upgrade from the weapons you started with. The game was viral on Roblox in the era of its creation.
Zombie Tower,
broken due to the deprecation of a Roblox studio feature named Filtering Enabled. 2011 was a huge year for Roblox.
Here we go, chat. The games are getting better, bro.
With many iconic Roblox horror games being created, as well as the first ever Area 51 clone, which was mentioned earlier. When Roblox users online talk about classic horror games, Hospital Nightmare 3 is one of the most remembered, only third to Area 51 games and Bloody Mary Awakened Trapped, which—
is anyone watching this and they know every single game you're saying? Because I definitely don't know any of these. I'm just learning, like, this is all new for me. But is there people in chat who are just like, oh, I know all these games? There can't be that many, right? I got no clue. Yeah, I got no clue. I know some. Bro, we ain't as old as you, bro. I've been playing Roblox for 1 year. I've played those games before, okay.
We will get into later. In 2011, a Roblox user named Adrian928 published Hospital Nightmare 3, another walking simulator type Roblox horror game set in a hospital. The game opens with your character in a hospital lobby, but after a 2-hour-long trip to the bathroom, you return to the lobby to find everyone dead. For the next 3 or 4 years, the game would be re-uploaded countless amounts of times, hitting the front page almost every time. The original was eventually taken down for an unknown reason, rumored to be because of a report that was filed on the game due to its jump scares, which haven't aged too well. Dude,
it's so sad that all these games just get reported and deleted. And, like, there's no reason for that game to be deleted. It should still be played. It just kind of sucks, man.
2011, myth/creepypasta games also became even more popular. Surrealism is a myth game by Shockman25 that was initially created in 2011, and then entirely remade 4 years later, and we'll be covering both versions. The 2011 version
4 years
first.
later.
Upon joining, you'll spawn in front of a tree with a gray statue in front of it, with the screen flashing black every few seconds. After a bit of time passes, a looping music box audio clip will start to play. To progress, walk behind the tree and touch the purple teleporter. You will be teleported to an invisible path in the sky with a crystal above it, and another statue will appear and block your way to it. A message will cover the screen, or a quarter of the screen if you're not playing this game in 2011, telling you that you don't belong here. Upon touching the crystal, the sky will turn purple, and messages will flood the screen saying you and leave now. The game will then kick you. Initially, the warning would tell you that the server had shut down, but now it tells you that your Roblox client has detected unexpected behavior.
Genuinely scary. Imagine being a kid and playing that back in, what was it, bro? 2011?
This game became mildly popular in 2013 when people on the Roblox forum started talking about it, with some users listing it as one of the scariest Roblox games. For each year, we will be looking at the trends seen in Roblox horror games that start, and for 2011, we're taking a look at Built to Survive game. Built to Survive the Zombies is a classic zombie survival game created by Danger Tim 112 in 2011.
Is this just, what's it, 7 Days to Die? Is it just a stolen, it's just a 7 Days to Die? Is that what it is?
This game gives you 9 different plots of land and the Stamper tool to survive different waves of zombies that spawn every few minutes. The original Stamper tool is now broken, but people in the Roblox community have made remastered versions of the original game. This game created a second wave of Built to Survive based games, which were very popular on Roblox throughout the early to mid 2010s, with the original game having over 19 million visits. And now it's time to complete the trilogy of iconic
look at this thumbnail
games I was talking about earlier. Sometime between late 2011 and early 2012, an already well-known Roblox horror game developer named Haunted USA published a game named Bloody Mary Awakened Trapped. Initially being a split game of 2 parts named Awakened Trapped respectively before being conjoined sometime in 2012, Bloody Mary Awakened Trapped is an absurdly influential and iconic Roblox horror game about the Bloody Mary ritual. After seeing a breaking news story about 22 dying after trying the Bloody Mary ritual, you go to try it yourself and embark on a long horror platformer adventure.
Oh shit.
What the fuck is that? Are you fucking... Like games like Hospital Nightmare 3, this game became as popular as it did because of how many times it was copied over. With only a single search, you can find the original Roblox Studio project file for the game and upload it yourself if you want. Sequels known as Gone and Bloody Mary's Chamber were teased in the following years but never ended up releasing, and still haven't after over 10 years. At one point, a riddle was set up for fans to find the pre-release copy of Bloody Mary 2, Gone, but it was never solved and still hasn't been to this day. Throughout
we need to get the secret universe community on that, bro. Can't be hard than putting around.
Horror games continued to grow and become a staple of Roblox and one of the most popular game genres on the platform. As well, a few very important updates were released.
185 million Robux? Bro! That pumpkin head in that video, there's only 34 and it's tradable. Dude, I don't think it's 185 million Robux. This person's... Bro, that is crazy. Yeah, that's actually crazy.
2013, which benefited Roblox horror game developers a lot. For example, in September of 2013, custom audio uploads were introduced. Beforehand, people were just slowing down and speeding up already uploaded audios posted by the Roblox admins. Slender Sanatorium by Daypale, a Roblox remake of an already existing mod for Slender, was one of the first games to truly capitalize off of this new feature, and was praised for its well-executed atmosphere and use of custom sound effects and ambience. While it hasn't aged too well, it was impressive for the era of its creation. Another well-received Roblox horror game from
Bro, there's so many games, bro. When do we get? I want to get to the
13
the
is
juice,
demo
dude. The
for a
later
game
juice.
named Distilled, created by TyRidge77. The game's main focus is exploring an abandoned school with various objectives in mind, with the main objective being finding your lost brother and maintaining a sanity
It looks like
meter
Amnesia.
while doing so. In 2015, the game was shut down as the developers behind it wanted to rework the game's plot and hasn't been made public since.
Sad.
Many of the players who tested out the game said it was exceedingly well made.
That's like that game in 2012. This one, it seems like okay, now you've got first person, you have actual hands, it's not stuttered. So about, was it 2013? Yeah, 2013.
2013 and 2014, there was a huge
2012,
increase in
2013.
overall Roblox game quality.
Bro, look at the quality
with
increase.
newly added features like dynamic lighting, making a large difference in how Roblox horror games were presented.
Damn.
2014 saw the rise of elevator games on Roblox, with one of the earliest being the Horror Elevator by ZMad Zeus. The game would set players in an elevator with 24 floors, all having horror themes, with the main goal for the majority of them being to survive the floors. The game was well received by the Roblox community, having over 63 million visits as of 2022.
Dude, I wish the elevator era was back, man. I love Regretivator.
The game was closed and the title and description were set to F. The game also
Evil
inspired the
Regretivator.
creation of the normal elevator in 2015, which now has over
What a
half
sick
a
trend.
billion visits.
Chat, that trend's so much better than
September
Brain Rot
2014,
trend. Oh
the
my
Roblox
god.
staff held a game creation contest named Scare Us Silly, tasking Roblox developers with creating their best and scariest horror game. For this section of the video, I'll be looking at two of the best made.
Bro, look at that
entries
game
of
on the
this
look at these
contest,
games.
Starting with Red 44 Satyr 44. Red 44 Satyr 44 is a Roblox horror game about a person who formerly worked at a company named Chimera AI Innovation, specializing in AI-based robots. The robots, however, started to go rogue and employees started to go missing, with you being tasked to get rid of said robots. The gameplay focuses on the exploration of the facility with a watch that tells you when to hide and when it's safe to explore.
Interesting.
I remember people saying this was the scariest Roblox game ever when it came out, and it has held up pretty well for being an 8-year-old Roblox game. Confined was the winner of the 2014 Scare Us Silly contest created by TyRidge77, Stroud, and LegoMan654. The game was created in 10 days and is a single-player game based on exploring an 1800s spirit-ridden household. A few years after the game's creation, TyRidge77, the main creator of the game, handed the project over to another user named Spyhawk722 to manage it, and he did for years until it stopped being updated in 2017. Much like before, there was a colossal increase in quality between horror games created in 2014 and horror games created in 2015. This is when horror games go from clunky free-modeled walking simulators with
this is what I'm interested in, dude.
to people's attempts at genuine horror games with storylines behind them.
Dude, to this day, besides Mimic scares me a little bit when I played it recently, but I haven't actually played a proper good scary Roblox game yet. Hopefully, when I think next stream we're gonna do like a game called, or next stream I'm gonna do Surreal Game Finder. Maybe that one of those games might scare me.
Bulb is a top-down perspective
These look scary, though.
horror game created by Zeekers that was created in March 2015, set in an almost maze-like structure. This game held up incredibly well for being 7 years old and was actually nominated for Best Single-Player Game in the 4th Annual Bloxy Awards. The majority of the gameplay boils down to exploring, hiding, solving puzzles, and answering phone calls, with the game having two endings, a good and bad ending. Along with horror games, Roblox myth/creepypasta games evolved quite a bit between 2013 and 15. Surrealism by Shockman25 was remade 4 years later after its initial creation, and it's much more advanced than its previous version. The game contains multiple puzzles to complete, and this
4
really
years
cool part where you have to spin your camera to reveal a room before the climax of the game, which instead of trying to be spooky, focuses quite literally on surrealism, instead of including a wide variety of Roblox creepypasta cliches as the previous version did. For 2016, I have two games to talk about, both of which are very popular and hold up pretty well to this day. In January 2016, 32-bit PC published Identity Fraud, a now pretty successful Roblox horror game based around traversing various mazes and solving puzzles with a variety of monsters.
Actually looks fun, bro. This game actually looks fun.
That will pretend to be the player that it most recently killed. The game does actually have lore to it, with dialogue dispersed throughout the game, developing a story about a mentally unwell patient who believes believes their doctor has poisoned them, before blacking out and waking up in the maze. This game also has a sequel released 9 months later, which goes even further in depth with the
No
lore
one playing. 0 active.
behind the series. The first game alone now has over 230 million visits as of 2022. Survive the Night, formerly known as Before the Dawn, is a multiplayer Roblox horror game that was initially released
This
in
looks updated.
2016, where players in the server are chosen to be survivors, heroes, or slashers. Heroes are people that help survivors by healing them or attacking the slasher.
Interesting.
The slasher's job is to kill the survivors and heroes, and the survivors' jobs are to survive until 6 a.m.
Chat, back in the day in like 2016, was like the Roblox community more spread out? Whereas like right now, I feel like the Roblox community is more concentrated into specific games. It feels like back in the day, the vibe of playing random Roblox games was like the main objective. Whereas now it's like, you only play Still a Brain Rot, you only play Grower Garden, you only play Forsaken. But like back then, it was like actually spread, bro.
As of 2022, both versions of the game have a total of over 120 million visits. These sorts of multiplayer horror games were incredibly popular in the mid-2010s and still are, with games like Survive the Night being
My favorite
much
game's
more
Eater.
advanced than, say, games like Darkness by Lolaris created 3 years prior. 2017 saw a huge rise in the popularity of myth games and other weird surrealist Roblox games, half in part because of these games being covered by YouTubers like Flamingo, especially games related to the cult family and groups like Mugen. An early example of this is
I've heard of Mugen before.
Created by Mugen in March of 2017.
Who is
While
Mugen?
Not necessarily a horror game, many YouTubers covered games like it and talked about how they were some of the strangest games the platform had seen. In July of 2017, AW Apps created Flee the Facility, a Roblox recreation of the horror game Dead by Daylight that keeps the blocky Roblox art style. In the game, there are 5 players, 4 players being survivors who have to hack computers and unlock an exit to escape, and 1 player being chosen as the Beast, tasked to kill survivors.
Bro, you're a bitch ass nigga.
This game now has over 3
Did you need to have that clip in?
billion visits, making it one of the most popular Roblox games, period. In 2018, horror
Was that
influenced story
necessary,
games
bro?
became incredibly popular on Roblox. A good example of this is Samson XVI's Camping, which is, to no one's surprise, a game about a camping trip that goes wrong. The original camping game now has over 200 million visits and inspired many horror-based story games to come, like Break-In by Cracky 4, a game about surviving home invasions created a year later, which now has over 1.6 billion visits. 2019 was also a huge year for the evolution of Roblox horror.
We're getting close to doors, I think. Oh, Isle and stuff's coming up.
Many now famous horror games being released. 3008, created by Ugly Burger Zero.
Here we go, dude.
Is a survival horror game based on an SCP of the same name, where you are tasked with surviving overnight in an infinite IKEA with no exit. In the game, you can use whatever furniture you find to make a base and survive the deadly workers trying to get you to leave the infinite IKEA, which is, you know, impossible to leave. As of 2022, 3008 has over 1 billion visits and is a very well received game by the Roblox community.
That's crazy,
Isle
bro.
is a multiplayer survival horror game about waking up.
Okay, so my viewers have suggested me this game. I've never seen it or played it, so this is my first time seeing this game, anything about it.
Stranded on an island and finding a way to survive the catawampus that comes out at night. At the start of the game, you and the other players are on some sort of ship with armed guards before the ship is destroyed and you pass out, waking up to find the door open. The game has 4 endings and is incredibly well received because of how well made the game is. As of 2022, Isle is on its way to hitting 60 million visits.
Pretty small.
The Mirror is a Roblox
I've played this one.
horror game created by Egros.
I've played this one. This game's good.
A psychological phenomenon of visual distortions caused by staring at yourself
This
in the
game's
mirror
good.
in a dim
This
setting
game's
for
good.
too long. The Mirror takes that and exaggerates it by creating creepy visual distortions that end up killing you at the end of the game.
I wish I'm gonna play it
very
again
well
for a
made
video.
how short it is, and it has over 20 million visits as
It's a
of
good game.
2022. Much like 2019, 2020 was a huge year for Roblox horror games. Piggy, released by Minitoon in January of that year, is currently the most popular Roblox horror game of all time, with over 11 billion visits.
Wow.
I can't even count that high. The game is a multiplayer survival horror game that blends both the gameplay of Granny with the visuals of Peppa Pig. Similar to previous games like Survive the Night and Flee the Facility, one player is chosen to be Piggy and the rest have to escape. Due to its large player base, the creator has made all sorts of lore, new game modes, books, chapters, and many more. When it was released, Piggy grew incredibly quickly, being the fastest game to reach 1 billion visits in Roblox history only 83 days after its initial publication.
Goddamn
now
Piggy,
bro.
bro.
2021, which I'd like to call the year of holy shit, why are there so many chapter-based Mimic clones? The Mimic is a massively popular chapter-based Roblox horror game created in January of that year by a team of 4 developers. Each chapter has its own monsters and plot.
Look how much better the quality of the games are now.
Throughout the game being based on Japanese urban legends. The game became incredibly popular throughout 2021, being regarded as one of the highest quality horror games available on Roblox.
I should play plays
the
Mimic.
Creation of the Mimic, Roblox saw a massive escalation in Roblox chapter-based horror games that are very obvious clones of the Mimic, where the gameplay usually boils down to being chased down in a maze by a monster while collecting a variety of items. And I'm not going to
Okay, I don't want to be that guy. That's my most hated genre of horror games. I hate being chased and having to find this stupid button. And then if you die, you got to reset the whole chase. Like, it's not even, it's just annoying, bro. No. As if no. It's just annoying.
Covering any of them. Much like what happened with Mimic-style chapter games in 2021, Nextbot-based games became a huge thing on Roblox in
This is more fun when you get movement.
2 Nextbot-focused horror games I'll talk about here are Evade and Nico's Nextbots. Evade is a Nextbot-based Roblox horror game created by Hexagon Development Community, based on the Nextbot Chase mod for Gary's.
I love movement games, dude.
Tasks are given to you to complete with various unlockable items obtainable in the game. There's also a long list of special rounds, some only being accessible with private VIP servers. In only 4 months, the game has racked up over 750 million visits. Nico's Nextbots, like the last game, is yet another Nextbot-based horror game, more focusing on the spooky side of things than goofy, mean Nextbots. Created in July of 2022 by Nico Patty, the game has garnered over 270 million visits, with updates constantly being added, such as the new Blood Moon or Blackout updates.
The games look good.
And finally, the last horror game released only a few months ago. Doors by Lightning Splash.
Here we go, bro. This is a big one.
Is one of the fastest growing Roblox horror games of all time, and is a game about doors. You start off in a hotel at door 1 and have to get all the way to door 100 without dying to the wide variety of entities that are out to get you, such as Rush, who will force you to hide in a vent locker or under a bed when the lights flicker, or Figure, a blind creature that owns a library in the hotel and can only be beaten by completing.
I love the Doors OST, dude. Oh my god.
Screech, who will whisper to you in dark rooms, forcing you to look at him so he doesn't kill you, and many more. The game has only been out since August of 2022, and the game has already garnered over 700.
Wow, wait, when was this video made? Oh no, I skipped. My bad. Hold on.
And the game has already garnered over 700.
3 years ago. This came out in 2022.
Visits. When it came out, this game blew up because of how well it was made and the impressive amount of work that went into the visual aspects, the scripting, animation, and more. It's funny knowing that these clunky walking simulators from less than 10 years ago and something like Doors or Nico's Nextbots came from the same game platform. To sum up this video, I'll make a graph about the evolution of these Roblox horror games. The graph has 4 ranks.
We have 3 more years that we know of.
Effort put in and good-ish. Here's how it goes. If you enjoyed, do things you do after watching a video.
Dude, okay, here's my question. Do you think, chat, do we think now, 3 years later, have horror games gotten better since this peak from 21 and 22? Can I be honest? I don't think they have. Doesn't really changed. Hasn't been any cool development. What are some good Roblox horror games from 22 to 25? Guys, I'm not taking my hat off, bro, because you spam it. Pressure and Grace. Pressure, Grace, is that it? Forsaken. Pressure, Grace, Forsaken. That's kind of it. 99 Nights is a regression. Let's be real. Bro, look at this. Look at the quality of Doors and like some of these other games. I would define the quality. Like, look at this. Bro, like, look at this. This is 2021. This could be a great video, by the way. But like, that's regression to me, bro. Not in a bad way, but like just by like graphical regression. W video, shout out Toasted Cherries. Are they still making content? They're still making content. Hey, I'll give you a sub, bro.